The main thing I was feeling is pain-free. So we removed all the pain. I no longer had the ankylosing spondylitis. I was cured of that.
Yeah.
I was feeling a lot more confident to tackle any other hurdles that would come up in life. It's just got better and better, really. There's been no issues with my health. If there is something small come up, I approach it differently. So if I eat something or I don't feel well, it's just a mindset now that I have that I can easily deal with it, and it's not an issue.
Felt incredible at the end of that. All the bloating had gone. Um, like I'd felt lighter as well. Like I had lost some weight through that process as well, but it was more about just I felt my system felt clean and I felt like everything had kind of moved the way it needed to. So that was great. And the brain fog had lifted and I was a lot clearer. The emotional stuff had gone. I was a lot more even tempered. Things were still going a lot better. So a huge, huge shift there.
I think it took about 3 months before I stopped getting the headaches, before I stopped getting the BO, and before my energy normalised.
I felt like I was lighter. I've learnt, though, there's a certain bit in my back that if I've overdone it and been on my feet all day, it just goes, no, none of this.
Yeah.
Go and lay down. And before I push through and then I just get crabby, and now I just go, feet up for 10 minutes and it's gone.
I love that.
I know, it's so good just listening to your body.
It wasn't till I got to a place where I went back and revisited some childhood moments and released some probably anxiety around that I started to see some results.
Yeah.
And I could come off the medication, and then my body allowed the supplement to work.
Finally.
Yeah. It took about 3 months for my body to accept these supplements.
In one of his darkest moments, he said, if you can look at yourself in the mirror and like what you see, there's something very wrong with you. And I knew in an instant, though, Philly, I had done the work that I was talking about that I'd done before. And it was like one of those sliding door moments where I thought, I have believed that my whole life, that I was ugly and that I was no one. But in an instant, I knew that that belief wasn't true anymore.
I was able to turn chronic pain off. Why can't I turn my histamine, my allergic reactions off? And you worked with me through a parts process, and everything was feeling pressured and suffocated, and I just couldn't breathe easy anymore, And all of that was coming out as this physical symptoms of having asthma and allergy to stop the desensitization. And I did. I worked through it as a process. It wasn't just a split decision made from, I'm just going to do it. I couldn't be happier with my decision, because as soon as I decided that and I backed myself with it, I didn't need the preventer. My husband was doing the renovating in our house, which included, knocking down walls. There was plaster dust. I just asked him to be, just to vacuum it up, but still there was heaps of stuff everywhere. No reaction. I chose not to have an allergic reaction, and I chose not to have a histamine reaction to it. It was amazing. That was another evidence showing that all of the processes that I'd worked through and the rewiring that I'd been practicing worked.
We went on a trip to Jindabyne. It was a whirlwind trip, 3 or 4 or 5 days, heaps of driving and heaps of in-laws to be with, just busy. It was hot. I just knew that I could not have done that 12 months prior. Actually, there was one even before that, I think, when we went to Hobart for a night family trip, and I drove home in the evening, 6 till 9, 3 hours, because Trev was tired because of what he'd done. And then I got up the next morning and went to church at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was just unheard of. Usually a trip like that would be days of, just wiped out.